Hello, and welcome to Gus McDoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we use German missions from the game Firefight to illustrate World War II German tactics at the company level and below. In the last episode, the Germans prepared for an attack. On the right flank, the reconnaissance element has destroyed a BT-5. On the left flank, they have detected a T-60 and an infantry squad for the loss of a Panzer 38T and one of the anti-tank riflemen. The Soviet positions north of Twin Peaks must be cleared before the German attack on Kulikova Ridge can begin. Let's examine the reinforcements. Unit 13 is a Panzer III Ausführung F. It is equipped with a 3.7cm Kampfwagen Kanon 36 L45 gun and MG34 machine guns. It is commanded by Unteroffizier Meissner. Unit 14 is a Panzer IV Ausführung E. It is equipped with a 7.5cm Kampfwagen Kanon 37 L24 gun and MG34 machine guns. It is commanded by Oberleutnant Hermann. Next, let's deal with the 45mm anti-tank gun on Kulikova Ridge. This gun could be lethal to panzers in the low ground below.
Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz, Ende!
The artillery have 16 rounds of high explosive. And we need to deal with the T-60. Gerlach summons up his courage, picks up his anti-tank rifle and moves to outflank the T-60. The first round of artillery disappears over the hill.
300 nah, kommen! 300 nah, Ende!
Meanwhile, the Panzer 35 has reached Twin Peaks again and suppresses the Soviet infantry in the woods. Gerlach destroys the T-60 with an anti-tank bullet through the superstructure lower front. The T-60 starts to burn.
Schuss, Ende! Weit, kommen! 200 weit, Ende!
The next artillery round hits the forward slope short of the 45mm anti-tank gun.
Nah, kommen! 100 nah, Ende!
With the T-60 destroyed and the Soviet infantry in the woods under fire from the Panzer 35, the German infantry form up for the assault on the spur.
Brenngranate laden! Geladen! Feuer! Schuss, Ende! Brenngranate laden! Geladen! Feuer! Brenngranate laden! Brenngranate laden! Wirkungsfeuer! Kommen! Wirkungsfeuer! Ende!
The artillery moves to fire for effect.
Schuss kommen. Schuss Ende. Feuer einstellen. Kommen. Feuer einstellen. Ende.
Shells blanket the ridgeline, and the 45mm anti-tank gun is destroyed. The artillery have 4 rounds high explosive remaining. The Granatwerfer opens a fire mission on the Soviet infantry in the woods to support the German attack.
Feuereinsatz. Kommen. Feuereinsatz. Ende.
And the reinforcements start to move towards Twin Peaks.
Feindkontakt.
Contact! The Sonderkraftfahrzeug 222 starts firing at Soviet soldiers in the village of Kulikova. The tank and mortar fire is causing enemy casualties. German artillery now targets the spur.
Feuereinsatz. Kommen. Feuereinsatz. Ende. Schuss kommen. Schuss Ende. Zweihundert nah. Kommen. 200 nah. Ende.
With artillery coming in, and tanks in support by fire positions, the infantry start their assault over the west face of Twin Peaks.
Schuss kommen. Schuss Ende. Beieinander bleiben. 100 weit. Kommen. 100 weit. Ende. Schuss kommen. Schuss Ende. Nah, kommen. 50 nah. Ende. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen.
Infanterie gesichtet.
Schuss, Ende.
Infanterie gesichtet.
Soviet infantry are moving right to left, apparently withdrawing across the front of the German attack.
Unten bleiben. Nimm das.
The Schützenpanzer moves up to provide additional fire support to the infantry.
Bleibt zusammen, Jungs. Bleibt beieinander, Jungs. Was verwischt?
Soviet mortars target the German advance.
Bewegung! Bewegung! Sehe unter Beschuss! Was verwischt? Sehe unter Beschuss!
Grenadier Kunz is severely wounded by a bullet in the chest. It looks like the Soviets are targeting the attack with artillery as well as mortars.
Feuereinsatz.
German artillery now fires a smokescreen, offset to the southeast to account for wind.
Bewegung!
Achtung Panzer! BT-7 on the east face of the spur.
Feuereinsatz. Kommen. Feuereinsatz. Ende. 200 links. Kommen. 200 links. Ende.
Feuer frei! Bloody!
Panzer IV moves forward to Twin Peaks to confront the BT-7.
Handgranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Schuss. Schuss. Ende.
The Panzer 35 is destroyed by an AP shell through the hull lower left. 1 crewman killed, 2 wounded. The shot came from another 45mm anti-tank gun on the ridge. The Granatwerfer immediately shifts fire. Grenadier Schultz is severely wounded by a bullet in the left leg.
Feuer frei!
Unteroffizier Meissner's Panzer III knocks out the BT-7 with an APCBC shell through the turret upper front.
Feuer frei!
The anti-tank gun remains a threat. And the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 222 is engaging Soviet infantry in Kulikova.
Was verwischt?
Here comes the Soviet artillery. But it is the mortars that do the damage, with Obergefreiter Costa and Grenadier Kunz killed by mortar blasts. Kunz is the squad's machine gunner. The smokescreen cannot come too soon.
Schuss. Ende.
Woher kommt der Beschuss? Wir brauchen Hilfe! Feuer frei!
Wirkungsfeuer. Kommen.
Wir sind zu viele!
Wirkungsfeuer. Ende.
Holt uns hier raus! Feuer frei! Feuer frei!
The smokescreen builds, and the German infantry assault the forward slope of the spur. Unteroffizier Meissner's Panzer III knocks out the 45mm anti-tank gun with a direct hit. The Panzers now push up on the right flank of the infantry assault. The Granatwerfer prepares to drop rounds in the woods on the spur in advance of the infantry assault.
Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz, Ende!
The reconnaissance elements close up on Kulikova, and Unteroffizier Naumann's panzer moves to the east of Wood Hill. Infantry in the woods on the spur. And the Panzer IV is taking auto-cannon fire. Oberleutnant Hermann pulls back to assess the situation. Hermann pushes forward in the Panzer IV.
Bewegung! Bewegung! Bewegung!
Soviet mortars appear to be firing from west of the spur.
Bewegung! Bewegung!
Naumann's Panzer III is taking auto-cannon fire from the other side of the river. He pulls back. Over on the left flank, Grenadier Schumacher is killed by a mortar shell blast in the chest. The infantry commanders tell their men to get a move on and get into the relative safety of the woods. The Granatwerfer opens fire on the contact north of the river.
Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz, Ende!
German infantry are now in the woods on the southern end of the spur.
Geladen, Feuer!
Naumann's Panzer III moves across the river to outflank the enemy unit. The panzers on the left flank advance with the grenadier. Naumann continues his outflanking movement. Turns out the unit in Kulikova is a Soviet anti-tank rifle. The Granatwerfer opens a fire mission as the recon units withdraw.
Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz, Ende! Brenngranate laden! Feuer!
Bewegung!
Brenngranate laden! Feuer!
Naumann creeps up on the unsuspecting Soviet unit. Achtung, Panzer! Another T-60.
Panzergranate laden! Geladen!
Feuer frei!
Both turrets turn.
Feuer!
Naumann fires and destroys the T-60 by APCBC shell through the turret lower left. The crew abandon the burning vehicle and flee. German infantry now push further up the spur towards the western end of Kulikova Ridge.
Brenngranate! Feuergranate laden! Feuer! Brenngranate laden! Feuer! Brenngranate laden! Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz,
Encouraged by his success, Naumann decides to reconnoitre the eastern end of Kulikova Ridge.
Brenngranate laden! Geladen! Feuer! Brenngranate!
Lieutenant Hesse's squad now assaults up this second hill on the spur. Half the squad engages infantry to the east.
Sehe unter Beschuss! In Deckung!
The other half spots the Soviet mortar to their northwest. Shots ring out,
Verdammt!
and a mortar fire mission.
Feuereinsatz, kommen! Feuereinsatz, Ende! Brenngranate laden!
Naumann moves up on the reverse slope of Kulikova Ridge.
Brenngranate laden!
Hab ihn erledigt!
Hesse's squad has the Soviet mortar crew pinned down under heavy small arms fire.
Das! Hab ihn erledigt!
Feuer!
Hab ihn erledigt!
The panzers move up on the collective farm,
Erwischt!
and Unteroffizier Berg's squad clears the small forest near bridge number 2.
Erwischt! Hab ihn erledigt!
A mortar round knocks out the Soviet mortar crew.
Hab ihn erledigt!
The remaining crew member is shot multiple times. Meanwhile, Naumann has dispatched the anti-tank gun crew and continues his reconnaissance of the reverse slope of the ridge.
Bewegung!
Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer.
Verdammt, Rückzug!
Sprenggranate laden.
Ziel erobert!
Feuer. Sprenggranate
Naumann takes the objective.
laden. Feuer. Sprenggranate. Geladen. Feuer. Sprenggranate laden. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Feuer.
On the left flank, the infantry continue their movement up the spur to the western edge of Kulikova Ridge.
Granate laden.
Bewegung!
Geladen. Feuer.
Soviet infantry remain on Wood Hill and in the collective farm, but they are pinned down.
Geladen. Feuer. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Bewegt. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Bewegt. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Feuereinsatz. Kommen. Feuereinsatz. Ende.
Tief in Deckung!
Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer.
The Soviet anti-tank rifleman makes a run for it,
Macht ihnen die Hölle!
Sprenggranate laden.
but is gunned down just short of bridge number 3.
Geladen. Feuer. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer.
The recon vehicles now move to encircle Wood Hill.
Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Bewegt. Sprenggranate. Sprenggranate laden. Geladen. Feuer. Geladen. Feuer.
The Panzers and armoured vehicles are putting down heavy suppressing fire, while the German infantry move into position on the western end of Kulikova Ridge.
Sprenggranate. Feuer.
Tief in Deckung! Tief in Deckung! Unter!
Feuereinsatz.
The Soviet defence has collapsed, and the Germans are now mopping up. Victory! First objective. Your first objective, as part of the invasion of Russia, is to capture the vital ridge at Kulikova before the enemy has a chance to dig in. German forces. 72 survived, 6 wounded, 7 killed, 2 vehicles lost. Soviet forces. 19 survived, 4 wounded, 41 killed, 4 vehicles lost, 2 anti-tank guns lost, and the mortar. You took the objective in good time and took few losses, although there was only moderate opposition. Your commanders rate your performance as adequate. 2 gold stars. So, what did we learn? 2 things. First, this battle again illustrates the importance of combined arms. The infantry had to carefully coordinate its light and heavy supporting weapons. As the infantry pressed forward in the attack, in addition to coordinating its own weapons, it had to make skillful use of the terrain and supporting weapons and fully exploit any weakness discovered in the enemy. However, in dealing with the T-60, I sent the Panzer out on the flank and the anti-tank rifle up on a hill. This resulted in the destruction of the Panzer and the death of 2 crew and 1 of the anti-tank riflemen. I should have swapped these units around. When the anti-tank rifle attacked from the flank, it dealt quickly and effectively with the T-60. This one choice would have halved my casualties in men and equipment. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.